Dirty Sprocket Podcast.
All right, this motherfucker's rolling. It's rolling.
Hello. Hip Hop
You-
Anonymous.
You are
Featuring
listening
me,
to
John Espinoza.
John Espinoza. Welcome to Hip Hop Anonymous on the Millennials Podcast Network. This is episode 4, right? It's the title of the playlist I got playing, I think.
Everything they taught me in elementary school proves to be correct. Yes, this is number 4.
This is number 4. That's the number that comes after 3, right?
I think so. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Confident on that.
Yeah, it's been a while. I got a job and shit, so like I had to work, and it got delayed. So, but I think it was like a month ago that we did our last one. So, once a month, we're sticking to the schedule, sort of.
Right. Well, I was ready last week, and it, for whatever reason, didn't happen. So, this on, it wasn't me this time. This time
It was me. I got caught working.
right. And I'm not mad. I'm just saying it's usually my fault.
Yeah, I know, right?
So,
Nah, it's my bad this time, but we got it going. I went through. We got a playlist going on Spotify, and oh shit, dude! Remember you told me last time about fucking Kid Cudi made a punk album?
yeah, did you check it out?
I loved it, dude. I fucking loved that shit. That was badass.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. Yeah, I really do.
Like there were so many people on there that were like people online. There are articles galore about how it's garbage and it's just like, and it's retarded sounding. And I don't know what the fuck, like who shit in their cereal that they hated this that much. I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But you guys should check that out. It's called Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Speeding Bullet to Heaven. So yeah, check that one out. That is badass. It's fucking Kid Cudi like you never heard him before.
Yeah, it's not hip hop, but it's a good listen.
Oh yeah, it's a damn good listen. Oh shit. Well, starting off the show, for Rewind, this episode we have A Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Now that's one that. Go ahead.
One of the pinnacle artists in hip hop, in general, but also very big, very important for what they were doing at the time. So, all right, now
Yeah.
you speak.
No, wait. Who talks first? Do I talk? Do you talk?
We're gonna get this conversation.
Star
thing
Wars.
down.
Star Wars reference. Star Wars Episode 7 reference. Who talks first? Do I talk? Do you talk? Yeah. Wait. What? I'm sorry. I can't. All that shit on your face. It makes it hard for me to understand what you're saying. Oh fuck. No. Tribe Called Quest is one that a few years back. I think it was Vada told me to listen to A Tribe Called Quest, actually. And that dude's an encyclopedia of music. He knows his shit. So I listened, and I wasn't really too impressed.
Really?
I mean, well, it's just because I was listening to it just with no knowledge of the context of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's good, but it's not. I was like, what's special about it? I didn't know what was special about it. And I think that is something that is part of A Tribe Called Quest, is that they're talented and they're good, but a lot of what makes them great is the context of their work. And
I think that into consideration and appreciate that. I think so. You have a very valid point.
But that doesn't make them. That doesn't mean that they're bad or like they're that the only thing that makes them good is how their music affected the community. It's
right.
I like the production. I'm a big fucking fan of the production.
Yeah, you can't beat that. Q-Tip is
oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. So you're gonna get nice production all day, every day from him. So that's gonna be quality. I think it was a Tribe Called Quest. There's an awesome documentary. Of course, I can't think of the title right now because I want to.
I think it has the name in the title.
Yeah.
So if you just search on Google like Tribe Called Quest documentary.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Mike had it at one point. I don't know if he bought it or if we rented it, but we watched it. I mean, I got a little bit more history from that, and that gives you a little bit more perspective on it. And even so, with that, they're kind of that the 90s was the time, like the early mid 90s was kind of the time for having to do more than just pick up a mic,
Right.
You kind of had to have something. I wouldn't say a gimmick like it is today. It's a gimmick that you have to have, but back then it was you kind of had to have something else to say. Because there was so much happening, especially given that hip hop was predominantly black, and the majority of police brutality was majority of it was white on black. So it was like it was one of those times where you had to have you couldn't just stay silent,
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
Are you upset that they were passive in that era?
No, I think their thing wasn't so much the anti-violence or it wasn't so much the speaking out or like fight back kind of thing, but it was more about it was a little bit more about black history, true black history,
Right.
And that's kind of what they were about, and I gotta respect that. It wasn't what everyone else was doing, but I don't think everyone else was doing the activist thing because it was a thing to do. They were doing it because they wanted to,
Right.
They believed in it, but I think that what they were pushing for was basically they wanted to have good music, and they were using their roots as inspiration for it.
I got you.
In some sense, and I think that's an admirable thing to do. And I think but that is kind of also why they don't stick out as much because they weren't as loud of a voice.
Yes, exactly. They are. It's a weird thing, man. Like people that know about Tribe, like you find somebody else that listens to it, and like that kind of person. As soon as they admit that they listen to it, you know who they are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're a chill on Sunday afternoon, listen to jazz kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the vibe that, I know who you are. Because not everybody listens to it, and you had to seek it out. So yeah.
Yeah, well, let's talk about beats, rhymes, and life for a second.
Okay.
Like there's one track on there that anyone should recognize. With the first track, "Phony Rappers," is, even if you don't know any other part of the song other than the chorus line, you recognize it right off the bat. You don't, and you never remember where, but you've heard it before. it's I don't know. I think that's isn't that their first album?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't their. It wasn't the first. You talking about Low End Theory? Which one?
No. Let's see.
The album that you talking?
My computer's being a bitch again. It won't scroll for me. Scroll, bitch.
Got to type nicer.
There we go. Now it'll scroll. Let's see here. Oh, I'm not sure. I think
Beats, Rhymes, and Life is a greatest hits kind of compilation deal.
Let me look here. 1996. So no, yeah, it wouldn't be. Hang on a second here. How'd that even end up on there? I'll have to look through here again on their discography. But anyway, oh yeah, it would have come later because they list their shit from newest first is how it shows up on fucking Spotify.
Right.
But yeah, all right. I don't know. For 1996, it's pretty early to have a greatest hits album because I'm not seeing tracks from that on.
Well, regardless, I think we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Skip Beats, Rhymes, and Life. Actually, go straight to the meat. Let's go to the early meat there.
A Tribe Called Quest. You need to check out Low End Theory first, then listen to Midnight Marauders, and that in that order, and you will be hooked up with the funk.
See, and I did it backwards. I listened to Midnight Marauders first.
Hey. Low End Theory was like their introduction, their first step that they had taken, kind of getting some notoriety, some spins on the radio. And then by the time that Midnight Marauders came out, they had actually getting money for videos and all that other junk. So, yeah.
See, as someone who I love good jazz, you know. So you know, you can throw this on and it's great to just listen to.
Yes.
You know, but it's like it's not one of those that where you're sitting in rapt attention, you know. Like I put on Midnight Marauders, and by the time Low End Theory was playing, I didn't know that Midnight Marauders had ended.
Right.
Like that's it. That's how much it just kind of blurs together.
Yeah.
So like, I would say that as albums, I'm sure they're great on their own, but they could just as easily, you could mix and match Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders, and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
And probably a lot of that material was recorded at the same time.
More than likely.
Yeah, and they just had to, separate the releases for money.
And I think they were only like 2 years apart anyway.
Yeah.
So
this was before the double disc phenomenon.
Yeah. I mean, people didn't want to pay for that because it was expensive, man. That's expensive as shit to get a 2-disc CD.
Yeah, lying.
But yeah, I mean, like it's good stuff. And if for those of you who were listening to this shit when it came out, it probably was something that was way cooler to listen to, because it wasn't something that you got to hear everywhere.
Yeah,
but
it was one of those things. You got to be the cool kid in class if you knew about it. You know what I mean?
I guess it would be fair to say that it sounds dated now.
Yes and no. Yes, it does sound dated because you can tell by listening to it. I can tell you what year it was made.
Yeah.
Just by the type of beat that it is. But I think lyrically, I think they're still there. I think there's a connection.
Yeah. Well, but it doesn't have that timeless sense. Like not the same way that NWA is timeless. You know.
Disagree.
I just don't. I don't feel it. I don't know. I think that it probably does have to do with that probably does have to do with their quieter voice. You know, they weren't the people that were out there to make a giant footprint.
Right. They were just a group of guys that liked making music, having fun.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's kind of what the takeaway is from A Tribe Called Quest. Like, you're not gonna listen to A Tribe Called Quest and it's not gonna fucking rile you up. It's not gonna fucking get you mad.
Right.
But it will make you, if you decide to listen critically, it'll make you probably want to create. Definitely, like, especially listening to these kind of beats, and this production does lend toward, like, oh fuck, those are things that are totally doable and not hard to do. So you're just like, fuck, let's open up some editing software and see what I can do. You know, you kind of want to just throw something together that's simple, and that's, you know, and that's kind of probably what I like most about Tribe Called Quest.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you got to listen to it in depth and appreciate it.
Yeah. It was definitely something I would recommend to anybody. Like, it's not something that's hard to get into.
Right.
But it probably won't be your favorite thing, you know.
Well, it would be one of mine, but I digress.
Yeah. Anyway, if you guys like A Tribe Called Quest, you should be checking out. Q-Tip is still doing all kinds of shit today.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I would definitely recommend. Oh, come on, stupid fucking. I hate the ads. The ads on Spotify play like twice as fucking loud as the music. It's ridiculous. But yeah, go ahead and check out, like, what Q-Tip's been doing in the last 5 years even. Like, he's still just as relevant as he was 20 years ago, which is pretty hard to do today, given the gimmick-based industry we have now. And he's still a staple.
Yeah.
But this fucking thing won't go away. Go away. Okay, there we go. Anywho, this one for our unsung heroes actually was one of my favorites for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I was very happy to listen to this. This week we had Keith Murray as our unsung hero, and just listen to the album Rapmerphobia. It's fucking sick. There's like just the production alone. It's got a little bit of a jazz influence, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of got a little bit of a fucking.
Well, if you got Jerome speechless, it must be good.
Yeah, it was just fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It kind of has that Flying Lotus type of fucking feel to it, where it's a little weird. It's a little It's got some choppy fucking beats underneath. It's just fucking awesome.
Yeah. Man, I can't say enough good things about Keith Murray. He is the person that made me fall in love with hip hop.
Really?
Yeah. I loved the fact that this dude was using 3-syllable words and doing crazy shit with it. And it started my my progression. So everybody has an influence. You know, they say like, oh, I'm influenced by this person, that person. I would never have attempted to even write a rhyme if I hadn't heard Keith Murray.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that dude is was my inspiration.
He's your Cleveland.
Right. And so I will back Keith Murray to the death. People, you know, he's not obviously a superstar. Most people probably don't know who he is. But as far as lyrics go, and combined with having personality and charisma, he's got it all, man. But yeah, his music, his writing, saved my life, basically. I mean, I was in a bad place, and hip hop was what I had, and Keith Murray was that dude. So very big to me.
Oh man, it's some of his shit is just the funniest that I've heard. Weeble Wobble is just fucking as cynical and just like mocking as it gets, you know, and throw that over a sick ass beat, and it's just like, oh fuck, man. I had a lot of fun listening to like Rapperphobia. I like Puff Puff Pass too, but I don't know, man. It's one of those albums that on Spotify, you know how they don't have like parental advisory. It's only when something is really hardcore that they mark it as explicit. It's one of those albums that's marked as explicit because it's like one of those that it's like undeniably like probably going to offend somebody, and I just love that. That's how I know something's gonna be fucking funny,
right?
Like, you know, you don't see a PG-13 rated comedy because you know that it's gonna be bullshit. You see an R-rated comedy because you know it's gonna actually be funny. But I mean, there's some fucking disses on this album that are like, oh, that's a new way to do that. You know, a very creative use of words to be able to insult somebody. Like, it's almost like when, like, remember the first time you ever watched like a British crime movie and you hear how they swear differently? Yeah. It's kind of like that. You're like, oh, that's an interesting way to insult someone, you know? And that's kind of what I got. That was the experience that I had listening to this album. Now, like, what's your Keith Murray album that you like really push?
Oh man, his first one, and it's just because that's what I had to listen to at the time. He's definitely progressed as an artist. But the most beautifulest thing in this world, oh my God, that's it right there. That's the song.
Yeah.
That's the song that changed my life. For real. Love it.
That is, trying to see where that's from. That is from
I'm trying to do
his 1994 album, The Most Beautifulest Thing in the World, or in this world. Yeah.
So yeah, that album, and then he had a follow up album, which was, and also here's a little since you're a John Espinoza fan, I'll give you this little tidbit.
Oh yeah.
The song that I have where I say "Take It to the Face,"
Yeah.
that's a shout out to Keith Murray, because the song "LOD," we're gonna take it to the streets.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't go back and listen to deep cuts. I went to and looked at like what were his most recent albums, and I didn't go with like the most
out.
recent. I went with stuff from like the mid 2000s.
yeah, you're missing out if you haven't heard the early stuff, man. Like, well, I can't say. I'm just saying that's when I fell in love with it. And I've already waxed emotional on that. But
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'll definitely have to check it out.
yeah, do.
But I checked out stuff from the mid 2000s because I wanted to see, because that was, I mean, that was kind of the heyday of the worst hip hop ever.
All right.
So it's like you want to see what did they put out during that time, you know? Someone who's supposed to be heralded as you know, our unsung hero of the week. What did they put out when hip hop was at its worst? You know, the 2000s era, and fucking Rapmerphobia comes out right in the middle. It's like 2007, and it's fucking it holds up way better than anything else that came out around that time from the people who were in the charts, you know.
Yeah.
So like this is just I highly recommend Keith Murray to anybody.
If you like to, anybody that likes
New and old, actually, because you vouch for the old, I vouch for the new.
there you go. I like it all, man. But yeah, definitely check out Keith Murray. Definitely. I can't say it enough. Unsung hero. There you go.
Unsung hero. No, and like I said, if you check out the charts from the time that these out, like his most recent albums came out, he doesn't have anything anywhere close to a chart topper on any of these. No, he gets practically no recognition for what he contributes, and the dude's fucking working. The dude's still working. I don't think half the people out there can really say that they're working. They're kind of just phoning it in half the time. So definitely fucking give that a look. All of his shit's on Spotify for the most part. As far as I know, it looks pretty complete. So
he had a side project with Cannabis. I can't remember what they were called. But that was interesting. An interesting dynamic, to say the least.
Yeah. What's that one?
Cannabis is all about like syllable wordplay.
Yeah.
Keith Murray is just a smart dude. So yeah, it's a good look. I can't remember what it's called though.
Oh, fuck. Well, yeah, I don't know. I would look that one up, man, because I want to know what that is. That sounds like it would be rather interesting to hear. Well, I don't know who produced.
I don't know. I'm Googling it right now.
Find out.
Yeah. So what's up next?
Next, we have our recent releases.
All right. What did you think of the recent release?
The recent release, King Push Darkest Before Dawn by Pusha T. It was pretty. It was good. It was good. It was Pusha T. You know, it wasn't anything totally groundbreaking, but like I said, when I see people who have been doing this for a while still putting shit out, as long as they're not getting worse or completely stagnating, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Like last week, what was our recent release last week? Fuck. But that was actually really good, and it was from it wasn't anything groundbreaking either.
Okay.
But it's kind of the same deal this week. I don't even know if Spotify's working right now. Yeah, it is. But there's some cool things in this album. Overall, not any kind of amazing fucking album. But
well,
there's some throwback references to like some of the more like remember the really dark production of like the like around 1996 1997.
The Undergods is the name of the collaboration.
Oh, is it?
The Undergods. Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check that one out. But do you remember that really dark, brooding kind of production style,
yes.
like mid to late 90s?
Yes.
Like there's some of that on here on this album, and it's like it fits. It fits. It doesn't sound like someone trying to co-opt something from fucking 10, 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah, they definitely pushed the budget on the production aspect of it. You know that.
Yeah.
Good music. That's Kanye's labels and not gonna fuck around.
Yeah. But it was kind of it was okay. It wasn't anything that was that groundbreaking. It wasn't in your face.
No,
I mean
it's a sophomore album, and you expect because everybody, the sophomore jinx, everybody wants to avoid that, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you come out with Dynamite? But that's my opinion.
Well, I think really just don't put out something that's garbage. As your second album.
Right. This is definitely not garbage.
Yeah.
But,
it's still good.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's like I said. It's no groundbreaking piece of art. It's like
he's very clever. And I love the fact that he's clever. But I always feel like he's saving the best for something else. I don't know when it's gonna happen or where, but like he's holding out. I always feel that way every time I listen to him.
I think this dude has fucking like 10 times the talent of Kanye West, honestly.
Well, probably 20, 30.
But that's because Kanye thinks he's a genius instead of realizing that he's not that good, using that as a tool to learn and get better. He just thinks that he's the best just because people buy his shit.
Right.
And because of that, he thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants and he can just get away with it. Eventually, he's going to stop making money. People are buying his shit now just because he's kind of a laughing stock. They want to see the freak show.
I don't know. People still love Kanye, dude. They do. They're passionate.
Yeah, those people also drink bleach. Like I don't. I've heard arguments from people who just like love Kanye. And it's like, leave the Kardashians alone.
Right. You have to, if you have an argument, if you're going to have a debate, you have to say like pre-K or post-K.
Yeah.
And what the fuck does that have to do with music?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I don't know. I think, and I don't know, this could just be a crazy, insane theory. I have a feeling that Kanye West feels intimidated by the talent of someone like Pusha T and won't allow him to release certain tracks,
I gotcha. Yeah.
Does that sound too crazy? But because Kanye West is a giant 4-year-old. Sounds exactly like the fucking kind of thing he would do, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That fucking makes sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, his fucking breakout album was the shit.
Because everybody's, yeah, Pusha T, man, wait for it. He's put out 2 albums, 2 mixtapes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still waiting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. This was not that album that we're waiting for, is it?
No, you're right. I think I think you found that out.
I didn't want to say it out loud, but I think there's a little truth to it. There's got to be.
Damn, if you look at it from that perspective, that's deep.
I don't know, but it's still a worthwhile album. I wouldn't say go out and buy this. Mainly because I don't want, because if you buy this album, guess who gets a cut? Don't give Kanye West any of your fucking money, dude.
You gotta support the Kardashians by buying
Those motherfuckers got plenty of goddamn money.
They're good.
They had a fuck you wedding, didn't they? Like just the proposing to Kim Kardashian. Didn't he like fucking rent out a fucking baseball stadium or some shit? Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Motherfucker doesn't need any more of your money.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. What did you think of this album?
I thought it was I think he was trying to go back to Lord Willin, the original Clips album. It was he was trying to recapture that sound. You got to realize that him and his brother had avoided prison. Man, they were close to being like in federal jail for years, and they got that taken care of. And of course, his brother, who used to be known as Malice, now is No Malice, who has made the best. Listen, I don't like gospel rap, but I'm gonna tell you right now, listen to No Malice release. You will chase Jesus.
He's that good, huh? That fucking good?
Yeah, he really is.
Oh, I don't know. I don't listen to music that is strictly religious. Like that's its point, basically, is to be religious. Like I don't fuck with it.
Right, and I don't usually.
I feel like that's a waste of talent.
I looked at it. I had to get it. I had to give it a listen, and I did, and I'm so glad I did. All right.
I'll listen to it. To humor you, I'll listen to it.
All right.
But just know, I despise religious music in that sense. Like the fucking preachy Jesus shit. I can't fucking stand it. But I will listen to it for you, so because you recommended it and said that it's worth listening to.
It's good. That's a nice synopsis.
Nice synopsis. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those where another thing with this album that I liked was, you know how I told you about I've said this before about like having guest appearances on an album and how it can be distracting and it can take away from the album as a whole.
Yeah.
Even the track that Kanye appears on doesn't take away from the coherency of the album.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. That's saying something. Because if you take a lot of brilliant people and then you throw Kanye on there and look at that in context to the rest of the album, usually that song would stick out like a sore thumb, theoretically. But it doesn't.
Right.
I thought that this made great use of guest appearances, especially The Dream. That was fucking awesome. On MFTR. That was a fucking sick track. And it was seamless, from Untouchable all the way through to Crutches, Crosses, Caskets.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking just
I don't know.
Going from a straight Pusha T track through to another straight Pusha T track. You know, it was it's a very seamless album. And that is good. That is a good thing. For a sophomore album, it should be that. It should be tight as an album.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Which I'm just hoping that, like, and if this ever happens, if Pusha T ever breaks away from Kanye, that we'll finally get to see that album that, you know, we were waiting for based off of, you know, the hype of the first.
Yeah.
But I don't think until that happens, I don't think we will. Because I think Kanye is going to suppress his talent.
I think something too. I know it's dated material by now, but Pusha at the time was throwing some verses at Lil Wayne on the album, so it's funny to look back and and see that. But yeah.
See, you know, it's funny too, because if you think about, like, if you think about the ridiculous personas of hip hop today, you know, like people forget about Lil Wayne a little bit, I think, because people like Kanye are such loudmouths anymore. But if you think about it, Lil Wayne is kind of a secret genius, because he doesn't fucking speak out about how much of a fucking genius he is. He's kind of a fucking he's kind of a little gremlin, but he knows it. You know,
right?
I may not like his shit because it's very low brow, but
I agree.
But I have so much more respect for him than I do for Kanye.
Well, there's like I used to tell my man Keith, 2 people I will stand in line to buy their albums whenever they come out, and this has been my stance since 1999. All right, Cameron and Lil Wayne. And Lil Weezy has definitely fulfilled my prophecy. He turned out to be what he is. So
Trap Jesus.
yeah, I saw that. I mean, if you listen to those early albums, man, you knew that kid was gonna blow up. And I don't know why people ignored him for so long. I was trying to get people to listen, and they're like, "Oh, I don't mess with that. I don't, Hot Boys. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to listen to that." Okay, and then when he comes out with an album, now all of a sudden they're fans.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is, like, if you watch any of the like behind the music things or documentaries on Lil Wayne, right? It's surprising the guy can tie his own shoes. So, you know, if you put that into perspective, he's actually kind of great. You know, because he has to, like, think of how much effort it must take for him to do what he does, kind of not knowing where he is all the time.
Right.
You know, I mean, you have to have some talent.
If you are that messed up and still able to carry a job and go on a tour, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they don't wheel him around on a fucking on a what do you call that thing?
Gurney.
On a gurney. The fact that they don't wheel him around on a gurney everywhere is kind of astounding. So, you know, it's like I said, it's that secret genius of Lil Wayne that makes him that makes him as good as he is. Not necessarily worth listening to, but secret genius. And that should be recognized.
I've been on it for a while. I'm glad you're on my team.
Oh, I fucking despise his music, but I recognize the skill it must take to do what he does.
The Carter 4, that was the pinnacle right there. Like if he could have bottled that shit, man, he was in the zone. That was the where he was making his best music.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we need to cover. Wait, when's his next release anyway?
Who knows?
Because like he hasn't done anything in a while.
No, and it'd be the Carter 5, but
unless he decides to do something different.
I'm sure that all the stuff that's going on legally is delaying any music sales.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Well, he's coming on a 10-year anniversary of Carter 2, right? Carter 2 was 2006, wasn't it?
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Cool. So we'll have to do that for a rewind sometime soon. Because I don't know. It's funny when I have to listen to Lil Wayne.
Man, I'm telling you, in 1998, I was telling everybody. People would say, "Who do you like? Who do you think is a good lyricist?" I'm like, Lil Wayne, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!"
Come and one take Timmy. I deserve an Oscar and a Grammy and an Emmy.
All of a sudden, like, fast forward 20 years, right? And these people are the same ones that are like, he's so great. He's a genius. The world is in fact a bitch.
Oh God, you should hear some next time you talk to Vada. Fucking Young Vada does a great impression of Lil Wayne, and it's probably one of the most hilarious things ever. Just ask him to freestyle as Lil Wayne.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And it's fucking it's a good 20 minutes of entertainment there.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, we're about time for a spotlight at this point. And this one was like you recommended this one like it just came to you like, wait a minute, Briggs, there's this Australian dude. And he's like actually like he's Aboriginal too, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Thought so. Like he's what was it, Maori or what's the
that I don't know.
Something like that. Like he talks about it in some of his interviews. And this one I was like some of it's kind of goofy, some of his stuff, but I think that's just it's just a culture barrier, really, because racism's different down in Australia.
They still do it, but they do it different.
Yeah, they do racism way different down in Australia.
Yeah.
So
their
like
racism is way off.
Yeah, their racism is very it's very stuck in the 1800s kind of racism. like Aborigines are still treated like they're 3/5 of a person, you know?
Yes.
And it's like how do they get away with that? You know, because it's not like legally stated that they are that, but they're still treated that way. And it's so strange because in the United States, like there's so much more. Like the FBI and the feds get their finger wagged at them for fucking over natives on reservations all the time. You know, it's a news story, and they don't get to hear the end of it. They still fuck them over, but at least, you know, the people here are like, yeah, that's fucked up. They shouldn't be doing that. In Australia, however, for the most part, people are just oblivious to it and don't give a shit. You can play any song you like. So it's like,
well, you know, if you listen to his Man, I just love the dude. I want to meet him. You know.
Yeah.
And we are talking about Briggs.
Yeah, and actually, funnily enough, there's some other hip hop artists called Briggs.
Oh, there's two?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them actually.
Yeah. Anyway,
but this is the one. I think he's the only one that has 2 G's in his name.
Yeah.
But
if you listen to the album, he talks a lot about the fact that he's performing in front of people that would slander him because of his race if he wasn't on stage.
yeah, he talks about that in the Blacklist. In the Blacklist, he talks about that.
How does that? Who does that? Like,
No,
I'm just
and
so proud of the man.
Who would go and pay to see that guy? Like, you're paying for flagellation. Basically, you're paying to have a guy be like, you guys only give me money because I'm famous. like in any other situation, you guys would be calling me an abo and fucking like any of you guys who are bartenders probably wouldn't serve me, shit like that. But you're giving me your money right now to fucking have me tell you what pieces of shit you are. It's like
right.
that Monty Python sketch. It's like, hang on, I came in here for an argument. Oh wait, I'm sorry, this is abuse. That's what it reminds me of. But it's genius that this guy gets, like, this is his fucking reparations. This is his fucking version of reparations. Is he gets to have a voice and people pay him to have one.
And he's generous. He's a good dude, man.
Oh, and he opened up for he did a tour with someone, I can't remember who, someone from the US, and opened up for them on their tour. And he got some US exposure. I can't remember who it was. But it was like in 2014, I think. So it was fairly recently. But since then, like, if you just do a Google search for Briggs, there aren't a whole lot of U.S. publications doing interviews with the guy or anything like that. So it seems like they've kind of forgotten about him over here in our side of the world. But down in Australia, he's still fucking making waves.
Hell yeah.
But I don't know. The Shep Life, it was, I thought, the better production of the 2 albums I listened to. I listened to Shep Life and The Blacklist, and Shep Life had the best production, I think. It reminds me of shit. I'm trying to think of who it reminds me of, because it's kind of got this like there's some indigenous music on it, but there's also some like straight up like rock band type of shit. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Evidence or Cage.
I got you. Yeah.
Kind of, but
I don't know.
But then like there's some weird quirky indigenous music on there too that was actually worked really well. Like, it sounds like some like traditional Maori instruments and shit on there. But I dug it. It was fucking awesome. But The Blacklist is definitely the album for, like, if you want to know what Briggs is about, like, that's the one you want to listen to.
Yeah.
But
I think that each album speaks for itself. It represents itself well.
Well, and he also he points out some of the people in the United States, some of our artists, and kind of points the finger at them in the same way that I do all the time, of like that's cooning, that's not art, that's cooning. You're just making music you're making things for white people to be able to have something to point toward when they want to say that black people are inferior. And he kind of points that finger, and I like that. And like he also, someone in hip hop recognizes that, which is nice. You don't hear enough of it anymore.
All right.
Because I think the loudest voice that should be out there shouldn't just be the one saying, fucking police violence is wrong, Black Lives Matter. It should also be pointing the finger at the other loud voices that are detracting from the movement.
Right.
So, yeah.
There should be steps for death, I think.
Yeah, and Briggs is fucking as real as they come.
And there are several video clips on YouTube if you want to watch. He goes around to juvenile detention centers and interacts with the kids and stuff like that, and try to help them by saying, "Hey, I grew up just like you. This is not the life, Yeah. So I respect that so much, man, because we forget people in jail. When you're in jail, people forget about you. They do.
Yeah,
and
it just kind of happens that way because you don't see them all the time, and they don't have the option of contacting you by any way other than fucking writing letters.
Right. So anybody that does something like that, he's got my respect for life.
Well, and they have the whole thing set up so visiting someone is not as easy as it should be.
Yeah.
Like they make it so it's like fucking all about it's all for the sake of security. It's like, what do you mean security? These doors are all fucking 3-inch steel and it's fucking all locked up and everything's fucking bulletproof. What the fuck do you need all this security for? What does it matter who comes in here? Really? But they make it the whole point of it is to make it more difficult. That's why they do it. It's extra punishment. Instead of making a system about rehabilitation, they make it about punishment.
I think part of it has to do with there are idiots out there that would say, I'm going to tape some coke to my leg, Yeah. Those guys. That's why.
Yeah, but that's an isolated thing that is just used as an excuse of the throwing the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. Like, oh well, because one person will do it, everyone has to be subjected to this bullshit. It's used as an excuse when really here's the real deal. If you take inmates and they don't get to see anybody, like ever. Like, they might get angry, but eventually they're more likely to just become depressed and therefore easier to control. To have a docile prison population is preferred. You don't want them happy.
Word.
You don't want them happy. You don't want them hyped up because they're harder to control.
Right?
So,
I agree.
Yeah. That's most of the reason behind a lot of their policy. Because it saves them money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
We could fill a 3-hour podcast talking about prisons.
Yeah. It's so appropriate for the Hip Hop Anonymous podcast to talk about prison. Because half the people we're talking about here know someone who has been to prison or has been to prison themselves.
Right.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's kind of funny too because it used to be country music was the music about going to jail.
Right? Yeah. It used to be. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But now it's you don't even in rock songs when you hear about it, it's always lame and like dramatized. And it's like all like, sad, poor me, I don't get to see my kids rocking on the road. Whatever the fuck.
I had a bottle of wine.
Pablo Francisco does a great impression of douchey bro rock, and it's hilarious. But it's that kind of shit. They'll sing about about prison. It's like my heart is behind bars. It's always just so poor me. Yeah, in hip hop, whenever anyone talks about prison, it's just like, it's kind of just mentioned, like it's not even that important, because the implications of why they were in prison are more important. Yeah.
Yeah, usually. But
yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot, Briggs, yet. I want to see. Not a big
catalog.
His earliest release was in. It was 2014, I think. No, wait, hold on. Never mind. He was on a compilation in '92, way back. He was with. It's called Great Cathedral Anthems Volume 5. But it's Briggs rapping over. Or wait, he doesn't even think he's rapping, actually. It appears to be that he composed music, actually. But his hip hop career starts 2010. It looks like 2010. The Blacklist was his first release. Because this Greatest Cathedral Anthems Volume 5, I don't know what the fuck that is. But yeah, he's basically got 2 releases. He has Shep Life from 2014, and he has The Blacklist from 2010. So, given that 4 years apart, he's probably due for another release sometime this year or next year.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's doing tour-wise, because I tried to find news to see if he'd done anything recently, but nothing comes up, so...
Yeah, well, I'm sure touring in Australia or whatever, doing performances there.
He's such a big thing there, which is like I said, given the content of his shit, is weird. He's such a big thing.
I agree. It's a very strange thing. Yeah, but I love it.
Yeah. Now his accent is hilarious, though. It is fucking hilarious to listen to.
It takes a minute to get used to, for real.
Well, and he also uses slang that is specific to Aussie culture. So it's just funny.
So it's a double whammy.
It just sounds funny in context. When someone says like in a hardcore like fucking badass way, that they're gonna throw some shrimp on the Barbie, it sounds like something from a children's TV show almost. It's just that ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But it I don't know. It works, I guess, in his market. I think that might be why he doesn't translate very well in the U.S. and why they haven't covered him since he's been here, like the last time, is because I don't think a lot of people really picked up on it here.
No, you were gonna get the just the backpack crowd, basically.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, and I think culturally he's confusing to people. It's like, oh fuck, it would require thinking to actually figure out what he's about and shit, because they have to realize that the Aborigines aren't all wiped out, that there's still some left.
He just like busts out like that's first and foremost. You know?
Yeah. As an identity, it's like
here it is.
It's like he is a part of his culture. And he's doing his best to try to destroy what is Australian about him, like that should never have existed. And as far as he's concerned, it shouldn't affect any of them. They should all have the choice to be to be Aborigine, you know,
Yeah.
and it's fucking it's fucking awesome the way that he does it. He's got these other people. You'll see guest appearances on Shep Life. And their names are fucking insanely hard to pronounce. So I'm assuming that they're also tribal Australians.
Right.
Like, here's one called fucking Gurumul. Just looking at him, he looks Aboriginal. Shows him playing a guitar. Let's see here. His most popular song is called "The Children Came Back." And he does hip hop, but it's very weird. It's very it sounds almost like what you would expect from like Christian hip hop, actually. I don't know. I think for some of these folks that it's probably not an easy way to. It's not an easy thing to find their niche.
Yeah.
In hip hop, because they have, you know, their cultural identity versus what will sell. And
right.
Yeah, and to try to find that happy medium is you end up not pleasing anybody.
Yeah.
But Briggs has it down perfect, really, with that mix. So if there's anyone that you would want to like to help promote your music as one of those people, you would go to him. Makes the most sense.
Yeah, I like I said, just discovered him a month ago.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm spreading the word, you know.
There's a track on Shep Life that he did with Ill Bill.
Oh, no shit.
Yep, Eye for an Eye. Yeah. Yeah, I knew. I think that's who he did a tour with. I think he opened for Ill Bill. I think that's what it was, actually. I'm gonna check and make sure this is the same Ill Bill that I. It is the same Ill Bill. Okay. I was thinking like, well, you know, Ill Bill can't be, you know, he can't be the only one who would call himself Ill Bill, you know.
Right.
I was like, maybe there's an Australian Ill Bill. Nope, this is the same Ill Bill. So, yeah, I think that's pretty fucking badass. So, you know, if Ill Bill is gonna fuck with him, you know that he's legit.
Yeah, for real.
But I don't know. Did you have any standout tracks from any of his that?
You know, was it Bad Apple?
Bad Apple.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. That song is my childhood, man. It was awesome. It's an awesome song.
Yeah, and that was on. That was on Shep Life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love there's some of these tracks on here that have like a full symphony behind them too, which that's pretty unusual for someone with this kind of delivery, and you can tell there's an image behind this that's supposed to be strong, very, very much a force to be reckoned with. So you wouldn't usually associate that with a symphony orchestra. And I swear to God, I can't remember what the track was, but I had the shit playing, and I was like washing some dishes, and I heard what sounded like it was just a full symphony orchestra, and there was no fucking lyrics to it. So I'm pretty sure that Briggs is also a composer.
Okay. Could be.
Which would explain the that album from '92 that is it's all like it's Mozart tracks and shit.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like it's Mozart plus other classic. Well, Mozart is Mozart classical, Baroque, Romance. I don't fucking remember any of that shit from music history class. But other classical composers like Like he took their pieces and combined the two and wrote something new out of it. Is kind of what it seems like. I need to actually go and listen to it. But I mean, that just adds so much more to it, because as a composer, that gives him so much more to work with, as if he wants to just go into production. You know, 'cause unlike people like Kanye West, who don't know music theory, or Jay-Z doesn't know music theory. Or wait, no, Jay-Z doesn't know music theory. It's P. Diddy doesn't know his music theory. You got someone who actually knows what they're doing musically, doing this shit. I mean, he could be huge, and I think that should be his that's where he should go from this.
Yeah.
If he wants to be able to expand beyond the Australian audience, is get into production. You know, get your name out there from that.
Right. That would be a good platform, good starting point.
Well, I mean, think of like fucking shit. Oh God, the name. Why is the name escaping me?
I don't know.
Ruthless and NWA. Fuck. That's the worst brain fart ever. Producer, DJ for NWA. Yeah, that name should not escape us at this point.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The DJ from NWA.
Yella.
Huh?
DJ Yella.
The other one.
That was it. Dr. Dre and DJ Yella.
Dre. That's who I'm talking about. Dre. Why is that name escaping me? But Dre did the same thing. He got known for his production work and built an empire out of that. You know.
Yeah.
And I think Briggs has the talent to do that. He definitely has the talent. I just don't know that he has the will to do it. I think that's not what he wants to do.
Right.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing.
Well, it's not fun to go on stage and play instrumentals, you know?
No. Well, for some people it is.
Well, yeah. They're
especially
called DJs.
Especially, yeah, I know. I know. Well, if Briggs is a composer, as I suspect, then it's not just playing instrumentals, it's fucking conducting at that point. You know?
Yeah.
That would be something a little bit different. But it'd just be funny, because if you guys like look at what Briggs looks like, imagine this dude like in his big ass t-shirt and his fucking like gold chains and shit, holding a fucking conductor's baton and fucking flick and just, you know, it just would look slightly out of place. You know, smoking a blunt while he's doing it and shit. Use the blunt as the fucking conductor's baton, you know? I mean, it would just be the most hilarious thing to look at, but the most genius thing you've ever heard. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Briggs is fucking awesome. I just wish there was more. So
yeah.
It's
always fun to uncover new and exciting, real shit. And it sucks when you get it and you're like, yeah, yay. And then that's all of it.
Yeah, you're like, where's more? Where can I find more?
Yeah, I like that stuff. Give me some more of that.
Yeah. Oh, shit, here we go. Hosanna to the Son of David. Let's see. Where's the one that's like Mozart? Okay. Ave Verum, right? Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the choir of Truro Cathedral and Briggs.
I talked to your brother, I think 2 years ago, about putting 808 drums on classical music and recording an album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this forever.
See, now that would be, I mean, because like Mike had a sampler. I don't think he still has it. I think it got stolen. But like now he's working in software anyway, so like you don't need a sampler. You can do it all that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be easy to do, especially given that a lot of this stuff is public domain.
Exactly.
With the exception of, you know, certain recordings, due to their copyright, there's no public domain licensing on that. You can't just use it without the permission of the people who performed it and conducted. Just because of there's changes in composition, minor changes, things like that, where they kind of made it their own. But all you have to do is find some fucking recordings from of these from way back. I know. So it's.
I know how the process works.
But yeah, I think that would be.
I think
a pretty awesome way to go. Yeah,
I think, and I have a title for it too. I'm gonna call it Classic Ill Music. Right?
Oh, nice. That would be the shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, man. When are you going to be coming back to Nebraska so we can record this shit?
You make the beats, I'll be there, buddy.
Man, those only take a minute.
You make them, I'll come down and bless them.
Fucking A, dude. Yeah, we're supposed to be actually... we're finally supposed to start recording for Vada's new album right now, so...
Yeah, he told me he's about to record.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, we started recording some of the stuff on there, and then my MacBook crashed, and then we got busy and shit. But now I think we've got all of our ducks in a row to finally get it going again. It's just... Now it's just scheduling, getting it all out that way. I think we're supposed to do some on Thursday, actually. So, that'll be cool. I think I'll... Huh?
How's he sounding?
It's good. It's good. He's just... I haven't heard any verses yet. He hasn't given me any verses, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's got good choruses. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But
all right.
I can't tell you how good it sounds without any verses.
I don't. I do the opposite. I do the lyrics first and then try to figure out what the hook is.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's usually my writing process too. But
because that part to me is boring. You know what I mean? Like I say something over and over again. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, and the hook is a sell. It's a selling point. It's like it's like good job that you know what your selling point is, but where's the content? I need the content. We need to record it. Record the content first.
That's no fun. So
and you know that a track isn't ready when you don't know how many verses you want to do.
Right.
If you don't know if you want to do 1 or 2 or 3, then you got to think about what you want the song to be about. But he's got some where he's got them all written out and shit, like they're ready to go. But I don't know that they're like practiced and ready to record yet.
Gotcha.
So I don't know yet. I think we're supposed to just be recording choruses on Thursday.
Okay.
But I don't know how many of them we need to record, because I think I have some left from the last time we recorded and shit. But that was before my MacBook crashed, so I don't know how well intact they are and shit. But wow, that was weird. My Skype just refreshed itself for some reason. Hello? Internet connection problem. That's a call dropped. Hang on a second. We'll get back to him. If we can get John back on here. Let's see if we can get John back. We lost John momentarily. One of the benefits of doing a podcast through Skype is if you have any internet connection problems, you lose somebody. Waiting. If I can't get him back, then that'll have to be it for you guys. I guess while we're waiting to get him back, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, you should go and support us on Patreon. We have set up now where if you donate $50 or more per month, you get a new Millennials Podcast Network t-shirt 4 times a year. So go ahead and do that. Or if you don't feel like giving us that much, fucking throw us $1 a month. I mean, every little bit helps. Got to pay our SoundCloud fees, got to get microphone cables, things like that. So go ahead and check us out on Patreon, Millennials Podcast Network. There's a link in the description, so go ahead and click that shit. Also, go ahead and check us out. Subscribe on iTunes. That's probably the most convenient way to get this podcast. And if you aren't subscribing yet, you'll still find us on SoundCloud and all of that. And just so much easier to get those notifications off of iTunes or the iTunes podcast app on your phone. And that way you can listen to us without even thinking about it. So go ahead and subscribe on iTunes. And as always, check us out on dirtysprocket.com. They still are doing some new things with their website, but the old site is still up, still active. And you'll find us there along with all of their great content like the Comic Chronicles and their various other blog contributors like Legend of Joe Bob Geiss and Derek Olson. All those guys have some... Robert Soderstrom has some awesome articles on there too. And they're quite hilarious at times. So go and check them out for some awesome content. www.dirtysprocket.com. And yeah, it looks like for some reason, I think John's internet is gone right now. Looks like it must have dropped out. Looks like, because mine is working, so... Yep. Try him one more time, see if we can get him back. Oh. And okay, I guess if you guys aren't following us on Facebook, you can go on Facebook, Hip Hop Anonymous. It's John is the gatekeeper and keymaster of that page, so you'll get all new updates from him. You can also follow Millennials Podcast on Twitter at MillennialsIR. Millennials Podcast on Facebook. I think it's just Millennials Podcast Network. There's all sorts of places that you can find us. And I think, yep, it looks like John, his Skype is fucked right now. So, yeah, it's too bad that we don't get to talk to him more on this one. But I guess you guys should go and check it out. You can find Briggs on Spotify. Go ahead and check out Pusha T's new album, King Push, Darkest Before Dawn. Check out everything by Keith Murray and A Tribe Called Quest. Next week, I don't know what we'll be doing. I have no idea because John is unreachable right now. So we'll figure that out, and there'll be updates on our Facebook page. That'll tell you guys a little bit more about our next episode and who we'll have for our various segments. So definitely check us out on Facebook. So that's where you'll get most of those updates. Anyway, this has been an episode of Hip Hop Anonymous. I'm Jerry Wemhoff, and you guys check out Briggs, and we'll see you next week.